But first off, with around this time of year, there's always that the movement that happens. There's the dominoes that fall oftentimes in college football. So let's start with where one coach ends up leaving or getting fired for whatever the attrition one way or the other, and then all of a sudden the other dominoes start to fall. And my ultimate question for you is: do you fault coaches for job hopping? So give the scenario that's happened this season more recently. Saban decides to retire. Alabama goes and gets Washington's DeBoer. Then so Washington has an open spot. So Washington goes to Arizona, University of Arizona, picks their coach. What is it? Goodness, picks Jed Fish, I believe.
Yeah.
Picks Fish. Fish goes to Washington. Then so Arizona says, "What do we do?" And they go pick the coach from, just so happens, my alma mater, San Jose State, Brennan. So Brennan goes to Arizona. Now San Jose State's gonna whatever. That's the but you see how those dominoes fall. Do you fault coaches for leaving? Because around this time, I know you listen to Dan Patrick like I do. You probably listen more often than I do recently. But around this time of year, he typically has not his rant, but he voices his opinion on his disdain for how coaches talk about a family atmosphere, about loyalty, so forth and so on, and then they jump to the next lucrative opportunity. And I wanted your thoughts on: do you fault college coaches for job hopping?
It's a tough situation, Jay. Why do people get into any business that they get into? They get in it to elevate themselves, to find better for their families, to find a better job, that type of thing. And when these coaches take these jobs, they, I'm sure a lot of them have every intent to be there for the kids, but we all know it's a business, man. And what I don't like is, some of these coaches, it's almost like they are like snake oil salesmen. They talk in your face, and we know all the words that are coming out their mouth. They're like, when they're lying is when they open their mouth, right?
Right.
But then they try to fool us and play us for stupid, like we don't have any common sense. When Saban abruptly retires, we all know one thing: somebody's got to take the job, right? And for some of those coaches, that is the mecca. That is the epitome of hustling up, for if you're coaching college football and you had any tie to Alabama, they were looking at some of the particular coaches, and man, any one of them would want that position. So I don't blame them for taking it. It's for all the years. I think the biggest problem I had was for all the years, like, because the coaches had all the power and they put their thumb on the kids, and the kids weren't making any money. And, it was all about the coaches, and they would preach about loyalty and this, that, and the other thing. Now, with the kids in the portal, we're seeing their, I won't say lack of loyalty, but we're seeing their ability to move around as well. And It's like leapfrog, bro. I mean, from one year to the next, we got kids that seem like they've been in college for 7 years, playing for 8 different colleges,
True.
So it's all, I can't point the finger at the coaches, because I now can point the finger at the players as well. So None of it, the NCAA in itself is a farce. We all know that. For years, they didn't play the players. It's all about student athlete. Yeah, my behind. And, like I said, these coaches, they'll go into a kid's living room, tell mom and dad, hey, I'm going to be here for 4 years, knowing doggone well the first offer that comes around, if it's better, and it's, for him and his family, he's on the first train smoking. So, even when I was playing many, many, many years ago, I got the speeches when they came and sat in our living room. And for, and all, even when you're talking about playing time and this, that, and the other, little Jimmy, he's going to be our, man, as soon as they get you on the campus, it's like, okay, get in line. And they'll, like I said, once they got you, they got you. So it's one of those things where, it is what it is. Somebody has to take the jobs, Jay. Somebody has to move into those positions. I do think here's my thing. I think there should be more penalty for the coaches. Because what's happening is they're putting buyouts for these colleges, right?
Mm-hmm.
So say the guy from Washington, he's got a $12 million buyout. Yeah. Not a penny's coming out of his pocket. Yeah. What's happening is the University of Alabama is paying his buyout to get him over there to pay him more money. There's no penalty for him.
Yeah.
You know, and then Washington's like, okay, reluctantly, we're going to let you go, but don't forget you got to pay us that $12 million before you leave. So even they're getting fat on it. And then what do they do? Like you said, they go to Arizona's coach. Hey, you want to come over and take this job? So it's just necessary evil. There should be more penalty for the coaches. Like, hey, let's make a portion of their salary come out of that buyout. I bet you a few of them would do less jumping around. If say it was, hey, you got a $10 million buyout, you're responsible for 40% of it. Well, wait a minute. I'm only making $8 million over there. Well, that's not our problem. You got to pay a percent. If you want to leave, it's got to come out of your base salary. Let's do something like that, because otherwise, like I said, there's no penalty. And what's stopping them from, like I said, just lying out there through their teeth. So until there's a penalty of some sort for the coaches, not buyouts for the colleges and universities and the other ones getting rich. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to be what it is, to eternity.